Speaking of yan experiences, yung mga background ng mga work mo. What were your jobs before you come here in Japan?
I taught for 3 years in a private education. It's a private school. It's it's high school level. And then I had a short and quick background on online teaching. And what else? And BPO. Yeah, those were my job.
Yeah, so mostly teaching and also like related to how you're gonna practice English skills, because in BPO, right, you practice a lot in speaking English. Yeah. So it improved, your skills as well. It helped you.
Yes.
Yeah. So ayun, yun yung mga work experiences ni Julie.
Yes.
How do you feel? Because you will be you've been working in Peppy for almost 2 years, right? Let's say like this, like what are your happy moments and your stressful moments?
Stressful moments. Siguro na lang, I'll just compare it to the usual work settings that we were used to in the Philippines. I would say it's the same level of stress that you get in the Philippines. It's just that you're in a different place. You're experiencing a different culture, and you get to like travel to like different parts of Japan, and you get to like try and see what are the areas that you still need to improve personally, and you get to like know more about your strength and weaknesses, and it gives you more experience and more, it broadens your horizon and your view of yourself, na meron pala akong kayang gawin na akala ko dati hindi ko kayang gawin. Because I was like, I used to teach high school student in the Philippines, and I thought to myself that I wouldn't teach, and I will never teach a preschool student because I can't. I don't have the talent, I don't have the skills, and I'm not that good to teach preschool or toddler students. Pero when I came here, I get to experience teaching toddlers to elementary and to high school, and some who are already like moving towards college or university level. And you'll see na, okay, kaya ko pala ang preschool. Kasi right now, I love teaching preschool. I love teaching toddlers more than I love teaching like the elementary level. I still love the high school level because I'm used to that. Pero what really surprised me is that I can teach toddlers because I always thought I can't. Stress level, how do I say it? Don't believe these memes that all Japanese students are like this and that and this and that. You have to manage your expectations because after all, they're kids, they're still growing, and don't set your expectations too high, but don't set it too low. Give room for both the low and the high expectations beyond the average, para you will not be disappointed. Kasi parang ako yung ganun yung thinking na parang ito yung nakikita kong mga reviews about the Japanese student teaching in Japan, and then when I came here, I'm like really culture shocked because it's really different from the Filipinos. So you need to really give room for yourself to learn and know them more. But it's been fun. I like a lot of students here, and if you really like teaching, I think you won't have any problem.
Yeah, actually, I can relate to that. You will never know that you can do something na hindi mo inaakala before na kaya mo. Yeah. So before because I used to also teach professional students like businessman students like that, mga adults like that. So high school as well. But when I first because this is my first experience sa Peppy Kids na magturo ng mga bata. But, yeah, so parang for the longest, for 2 years, na-realize ko na I love teaching kids. I love them. Ang sarap nilang yakapin. Ang sarap
kumanta, guys.
Ang sarap nilang turuan. So, kahit numiiyak sila. Noong una siguro nag-freak out ako kasi nga parang, nag-iiyak ka na silang lahat. Ganyan. Kasi first teacher nila ako ng mga time na yun. So, first experience nila. Ganyan. Sa mga bata, usual na mga bata na kapag mamimit nila bagong tao, parang sila, na surprise, na parang shock sila, so natatakot sila, ganun. Pero kapag nakuha mo na yung loob nila, parang ang sarap sa feeling, na sasabihin ka nilang, I like this teacher, I like Meg Sensei, I like Julie Sensei, like that, daisuki. Tsaka yung expectation. Ayun.
Yeah, kasi parang you'll end up disappointed pag sobrang taas na expectations mo. Pag sobrang baba naman, you will not like, you'll feel lazy to move forward and to expect more, and to work more for them. Pero ayun, just beyond that average expectations. Kasi remember, they're second language learners.
Correct.
And it's not like in the Philippines where we get to study English from like toddler to growing up, like intensive English, right? Because all of our subjects are taught in English. It's different here because not all the subjects are taught in English. Yeah, and ayun, your expectation should be on the level of them as a secondary language learner.
Correct. And when you're a teacher, parang you don't expect na parang they will just learn easily. So that's our role, right? To teach them, be patient to them, like that. Kahit na nakakainis na, high-blood din ka na, ganyan. So, pero kasi, that's our role because, that's our job. We're not just teaching. We're here to, parang, to guide them, to be patient to them along the way, para matuto sila, ganyan. And then, when you see that they're learning, it's a very, it's a self-fulfillment being a teacher, right? Yeah. But it's a long way process. Hindi siya madali. Pero, ayun, masaya naman. May mga times talaga na may stress ka, high blood ka sa mga students.
Just the usual classroom in the Philippines. There are students that you really can't like handle. There are students na you can easily love. Like they're so easy to love. There are also classes where you like, force yourself to go and through. It's the same. It's the same situation that we have. I think in all of the schools all over the world.
Maybe I should also ask this. Kasi siguro marami sa inyo parang you've been looking for the pros and cons of Peppy Kids Club, right? Especially yung cons niya, yung parang pagbiyahe-biyahe ng malalayo. We have different, siguro parang same experience na parang pumunta kami ng iba't ibang schools, pero because Julie is living in the city and I'm living in countryside, so I want to hear from Julie how it is here in the city.
It's okay because trains are frequent.
Yeah.
You only wait for like maximum of 20 minutes just to go to different places, except if you are really going far, like provincial type. But if you're covering around there, it's just frequent trains, like 15 to 20 minutes.
Exactly. Yes. So that's how the commuting experience in the city. Yeah. So because in my place, it's a countryside, so trains are not that frequent. So it's like some, for example, in my case, like going to my home, it takes like 30 minutes or maybe an hour before trains come, like that. So it depends also with the schedule. Sometimes there's also like accident, so You have to be early when you go to school. Yeah. Especially when you're new. So with your 6 months, you have to be really early, right?
Yeah, 1 hour. It's a status one.
Yeah, status 1. So, ayun. Ganun. So, in my place, so countryside, yeah, it's like, the difficult one is like, waiting for the train. And when you go home, it's like, it's late. Yeah, you get home late. Kasi nga, yun nga, hindi naman talaga yung mismong trabaho. Yung pagko-commute, yung mahirap. Kasi nga, matagal yung train. Ayan. So, hinaantok na siya. How many schools are you handling now?
4.
Yeah. Since then, right? When you started?
Usually, you will have 4. It's
Yeah.
like 1 school per week.
Yeah. Because I had 3 classes before. 3 schools, I mean. 3 schools. And I had 1 week office day. But usually, that office day, I'm covering. So, my supervisor usually, throw me.
Thorough.
Yeah. Yeah, she throws me to different places, like especially when there's missing teacher. Yeah, missing teacher. Yeah, so it's like when there will be no
Absent
teacher or
teachers.
absent teacher, like that. For example,
So
here in Tokyo, I stay here for a week, or maybe in Fuji, I stay there for 1 week. Yeah. So it's okay for me because they knew that I love traveling. But
Yes.
I realized that it's so tiring sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's still different, right? When you are at home.
And you're not like there to travel. You're there to work.
Yeah, actually. But you know what? It's just like a privilege also because, by the way, my supervisor is a Filipina. She knew that most of my friends are in Tokyo. And then she told me like, I think this is good for you to go to Tokyo for coverage so that you can also visit on the weekend to your friends, like that. You can meet them on the weekend. Yeah, and I did that also before going back to my place. Yes. Ganon. Parang nalalasing na kami. Ganon.
Lasing sa anto.
Okay. So, thank you so much. So, I think only those questions this time. Okay. Alright, so thank you for listening.
Yes, habang hati yung attention ko sa TV tsaka sa inyo.
Oo, kasi nanonood kami ng Four Sisters and ano yan, before the wedding ba to? Ayan siya, ayan sila, ayan. Cause we wanted to, feel the Philippine vibes like that. Tagalog. So we're watching Tagalog. Okay, so see you on my next video. Thank you, Julie.